हेलो दोस्तों, दिस इज भारत कुमार एंड यू आर वाचिंग माय चैनल निर्मल इन्फो अपडेट्स।
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left.
India's fifth-generation fighter program, the Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft, AMCA, will be a corporate public-private program, a massive break from the traditional government-only shape of all military aviation projects thus far. Livfis can confirm that India's HAL and the Aeronautical Development Agency, ADA, are in the process of laying the contours for a joint venture company to execute the AMCA program. The joint venture company will be a three-way partnership between HAL, DRDO, via ADA, and an Indian private sector firm. Speaking to Livfis Shivaru as part of an exclusive interview, HAL Chairman and Managing Director R. Medhavan said, HAL and ADA are together in the design of AMCA. We are also looking at productionization already. We want to create a special vehicle, a joint venture company between HAL, DRDO and a private partner. It is not yet clear how the private partner in the AMCA project will be chosen, though it is clear that HAL and DRDO are keen to progress the proposed structure and create a special purpose vehicle, SPV, as quickly as possible. The decision to include a private partner as an equal stakeholder in a joint venture is groundbreaking in Indian aerospace projects, with private firms so far confined to being tier-level suppliers of systems and subsystems. If the proposal goes through, it will be the first time a private firm will be on equal financial and work terms with HAL and DRDO on a military armament project. Adding detail to timelines on the AMCA, Medhavan said, it's on the drawing board. Preliminary design is completed. First prototype will be out, flying, by 2026-27. Secondly, as far as 4th generation and 5th generation fighters, the latter loses out in terms of aerodynamics and stealth requirements, so not a good idea to put everything in one aircraft. With Tejas Mk2 and AMCA, we will be having both varieties, -4+ generation and 5th generation. One doesn't replace the other. If you look at the US, they too are buying 4th generation jets. In addition to the A-35, India pulled out of the Su-57 5th generation fighter program with Russia in 2018 after a committee warned that the IAF and HAL were headed the Su-30 way with the crucial FGFA, and would likely end up as bankrollers to the program in the short term, and nothing more than license builders in the long term. A concerted view was taken with the IAF to walk away from the Indo-Russian project, despite monies already sunk. In related remarks that make for the most ambitious promise in Indian military aviation, Medhavan also said that the first prototypes of 3 separate new Indian fighter concepts, including the AMCA, will be rolled out in 4 years. He said that HAL and its partner, the Aeronautical Development Agency, ADA, are working to unveil prototypes of the light combat aircraft Mk2, a new twin-engine Tejas-derived deck-based fighter in the AMCA, in the next 3 to 4 years. Answering a question on the twin-engine deck-based fighter that HAL and DRDO have embarked on with government clearance earlier this month, Medhavan said, so first the LCA Mk2 will come out, and then the TEGFIN and AMCA. India is likely to receive by July 27 the first batch of 6 Rafael fighter jets, which are expected to significantly boost the combat capability of the Indian Air Force, people familiar with the development said. The IAF has been on a high alert for the last 2 weeks in view of escalation in tension with China following clashes between troops of the two countries in Galwan Valley in eastern Ladakh, in which 20 Indian Army personnel were killed. The two armies are locked in a bigger standoff in the region for 7 weeks. On June 2, Defense Minister Singh held a telephonic conversation with his French counterpart Florence Parly, during which she conveyed that the Rafale jets will be delivered to India as scheduled, notwithstanding the coronavirus pandemic in France. Military officials, on the condition of anonymity, said the arrival of the Rafale jets will significantly enhance the IAF's overall combat capability and will send a clear message to India's adversaries. When asked about the matter, the IAF did not comment. The first squadron of the aircraft will be stationed at Ambala Air Force Station, considered one of the most strategically located bases of the IAF. India had signed an intergovernmental agreement with France in September 2016 for procurement of 36 Rafale fighter jets at a cost of around Rs 58,000 crore. The aircraft is capable of carrying a range of potent weapons. European missile maker MBDA's Meteor Beyond Visual Range Air-to-Air Missile and Scout Cruise Missile will be the mainstay of the weapons package of the Rafael jets. Meteor is the next generation of BVR air-to-air missile, BVR-AAM, designed to revolutionize air-to-air combat. The weapon has been developed by MBDA to combat common threats facing the UK, Germany, Italy, France, Spain and Sweden. Besides the missile systems, the Rafael jets will come with various India-specific modifications, including Israeli helmet-mounted displays, radar warning receivers, low-band jammers, 10-hour flight data recording, infrared search and tracking systems among others. The IAF has already completed preparations, including readying required infrastructure and training of pilots, to welcome the fighter aircraft. The 2nd Squadron of Rafael will be stationed at Hasimra Base in West Bengal. The IAF spent around Rs 400 crore to develop infrastructure like shelters, hangars and maintenance facilities at the 2 bases. Out of the 36 Rafael jets, 30 will be fighter jets and 6 will be trainers. The trainer jets will be twin-seater and they will have almost all the features of the fighter jets. The Congress had raised questions on the deal, including on rates of the aircraft and alleged corruption, but the government had rejected the charges. The Indian Air Force, IAF, is to get its first state-of-the-art Rafael fighter aircraft on July 27. That is when the first 4, perhaps 6 fighter jets will touch down at IAF Ambala. The fully armed jets are being delivered at a time of rising tensions between India and China in eastern Ladakh, during the largest military standoff between the two countries since the 1962 border war. Last week, India's Defense Ministry reached out to the DGA, Direction Générale de l'Armement, the French government body that buys and sells military equipment for the French armed forces, to increase the number of aircraft in the first batch of deliveries from 4 to 6. India had signed up to buy 36 multi-role Rafael jets from France in a deal worth 7.8 billion, Rs 58,891 crore, in September 2016. The first jets were to have been delivered by May this year, but were delayed by the pandemic. All 36 aircraft will be delivered by 2022 in batches of 4 and in 2-month intervals. The aircraft are equipped with 2 standoff weapons. The IAF has never possessed Meteor air-to-air missiles, with a range of over 100 kilometers, and Scalp air-to-ground missiles, with a range of 500 kilometers. The 10-ton Rafael can carry also a 14-ton payload of fuel and weapons, more than the weight of 2 MiG-21 fighter jets. The Rafael numbers might seem small from now, but their presence is itself a deterrent, says Air Marshal Nirdesh Tyagi, former Deputy Chief of Air Staff. These are special mission aircraft. They are not the type that will be used for close air support or point defense. The standoff has seen increased air activity by both India and China. India has deployed Mirage 2000 and Su-30 MKIs very near the theater and activated all 11 air bases facing China. The PLEF, People's Liberation Army Air Force, has activated multiple air bases on the Tibetan Plateau, from where it operates J-8 and J-11 fighter aircraft. Experts say Chinese fighter jets will find their performance degraded by the altitude and rarefied air of the Tibetan Plateau. They can take off with only half their designed payload and fuel and will be substantially underpowered. IAF aircraft will be able to take off from multiple air bases on the plains with full weapon loads and fuel, unaffected by geographical constraints. That is where the Rafael fits in, as a potent fighter aircraft that could surpass any platform in the PAF, Pakistan Air Force, and the PLEF. This is the induction of an aircraft with near 5th-generation performance and marks a paradigm shift in the combat potential of the IAF, says Air Marshal P.S. Ahluwalia, former CNC Western Air Command. It is important that the pilots and technicians absorb the technology, and more importantly, applied sources say that increasing the number of jets being delivered next month to 6 would impact the training of IAF pilots back in Bordeaux. 10 pilots have been trained to fly the jets, with 12 more yet to be trained. The pilots are part of a team of over 100 IAF personnel based in France since March 2019 for training on various aspects of the jet, including flying and ground handling. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh received the first batch of Rafales on behalf of the IAF on October 8 in Rignac, France. The IAF has been recently challenged by a dwindling fighter fleet. It last acquired a sophisticated fighter, the Su-30 MKI, just about 2 decades ago, in 2001.
you.